Well, I hope as you had your discussion, you really did have to engage some truth, because that wasn't an easy thing. There's some tension in that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something you just have a quick answer for. So you had to face some things. You had to face some reality. Now let's move into the second aspect of our three characteristics about what it means to be a learning community, and that is seeking to understand. As we seek to understand, we're going to dive in a little more, start to get behind issues, ask questions, maybe try to see what's going on with something. And as I think about our world today, I think a lot about going on. I know in the Chicagoland, there's so many things going on in that whole place. I mean, there's stuff in the news. I mean, I know one of the things I was reflecting on just about our own area is it is going to be a tough year for both Bulls and the Bears.
Totally know what you're saying, because when I was looking at the paper and I saw both the seasons of both the Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears, the Chicagoland is suffering some changing off with a couple of the coaches, and ESPN, just as they've been rating how both teams have come in and out. It's just been, it is tough.
Okay, can we try that again? Let's try that again. Okay, can we just start over? Okay.
Sensing
We're
some
going to do a
tension.
different take on this, just a different take. As I look at our Chicagoland area, I realize it's going to be a tough year for both the Bulls and the Bears.
Bill, what makes you say that?
Well, as I look at people who have money in the market, they think that it's going to go up, and they're riding the up wave, and they're real bullish about it. And I think they have a lot invested on that.
So, I mean, you're feeling the financial pinch.
Exactly. And then there's people who think, hey, this is a bear market we're in, and this is going to be a tough season. So it's time to kind of get out and get your money on the sideline. I think it's going to be a tough season for both the Bulls and the Bears.
And I can see why it would be.
You see what happened there? Steve was making some assumptions, stuff we do all the time. Before we seek to really understand, we make assumptions about what someone is saying. We think we know what they're talking about. I obviously thought I was talking about our phenomenal, amazing sports teams. But I was actually referring to it would be a tough season for financial investors, whether you're in the bear market or the bull market. And that's what's important about this whole thing, is we need to be careful about how we approach truth. We engage it, but then we need to seek to understand people, seek to understand the Bible.
And the Bible is a great place to turn to. I want to turn you to Acts chapter 17, verse 11. It says, "Now the Bereans were a more noble character than the Thessalonians, for they received the message with great eagerness and examined the scripture every day to see if what Paul had said was true."
I like that phrase.
I mean, there's so many powerful ones in there, but where they examined the scriptures every day, they received it eagerly, but they didn't take it for granted.
Yeah.
They looked at what the Apostle Paul had said.
And all of our teachers, those of you, people, maybe pastors watching or others, we love the teaching. And I don't know one pastor who wouldn't be excited about knowing that groups of people were taking teaching they had done and saying, wait a minute, let's examine that. Let's dig into the Bible. Let's learn more about that. They'd love that.
Exactly.
And that's the way we're supposed to be, not assuming we know the answer, not just glossing over the truth. So here's what we'd like to do again, kind of kick it back to you. This is part 2 of our 3-part engagement here. Now seeking to understand. So you're going to look at that same data, some of that information you started talking about before, but instead of just engaging some truth around it, now let's create an exercise that helps you really seek to understand. So turn to your guides, look in there, and you'll see a process that'll help you to seek to understand this information. Do that for about 15 minutes or so, and Steve and I will be back again to take you to the third essential component of what it means to be a learning community.